गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। श्वेताश्वतरोपनिषद अध्याय 4 मंत्र 5। अजामेकाम् लोहितशुक्लकृष्णाम् बह्वीः प्रजाः सृजमानां सरूपाः अजो ह्येको जुषमाणोऽनुशेते जहात्येनां भुक्तभोगामजोऽन्यः। This is a very popular mantra in the Vedanta, among the Vedanta students. Same mantra can be found in some other places also, like in Mahanarayanopanishad you find the same mantra. When a mantra is repeated in various places, we can understand its importance, because important words are repeated. This mantra is explaining the distinction between samsari and asamsari. Samsari is the one who is experiencing samsara, and asamsari is the one who is free from samsara. Samsaraha asya astiti samsari. One who has samsara is called samsari. In order to explain the samsara and moksha, the Vedanta Shastra introduces something called Prakriti. Prakriti consists of 3 guna. Vidyaranya describes Prakriti चिदानंदमय ब्रह्म प्रतिबिंब समन्विता तमो रजः सत्त्वगुणा प्रकृतिर्द्विविधा च सा. Some people are familiar with this shloka. We saw in Kashi in March. Prakriti consists of three gunas. Tamo rajas sattva guna. Three gunas are there. And this Prakriti consists of the pratibimba of the Brahman. The Brahman reflects in the Prakriti. Chidanandamaya Brahma pratibimba samanvita. Implying that Prakriti serves as an upadhi of Brahman. Prakriti serves as an upadhi of Brahman. I have described upadhi in many contexts earlier, so I assume that the word upadhi is familiar. This Prakriti is twofold. Essentially it is same, but it is twofold. One is called Maya, another is called Avidya. Maya and Avidya. Maya serves as the upadhi of Ishvara, whereas Avidya serves as the upadhi of Jiva. Maya is Ishvara upadhi, Avidya is Jiva upadhi. On account of Maya, the Ishvara becomes the cause of the universe. Ishvara becomes a Jagat Karana because the Maya enables the creation. Maya enables the creation, the Srishti. That is how, with the help of Maya, Ishvara becomes Jagat Karana. Whereas the other Prakriti, which is Avidya, on account of Avidya, the Jiva gets entangled in the creation. Meaning, the Jiva becomes a samsari. As long as the Jiva is bewildered by Avidya, as long as the Jiva is confused by Avidya, deluded by Avidya, the jiva remains samsari. But when the jiva understands this avidya is causing all problems, and then the jiva gets rid of the avidya, then the jiva becomes mukta. When the jiva is free from avidya, he is mukta. This is described in this mantra. In this mantra, two words are used. One for the Atma, another for the Prakriti. The Atma is called Ajaha. Ajaha means no birth. Na jayate iti ajaha. One who does not have birth is called aja. Atma is ajaha because Atma does not have a beginning. Atma is beginningless. Therefore, the word aja is apt for the Atma. Now, Prakriti is called aja. Prakriti is called aja. Why Prakriti is called aja? Because even Prakriti does not have a beginning. Even Prakriti is anadi. In fact, in Vedanta Shastra, we talk about 6 anadis. Jiva isho vishuddhachit tatha jivesha yorbhida avidya tacchitor yogaha shadasmakam anadayaha. There are 6 anadis. What are they? Jiva. Jiva is anadi. Ishvara is anadi. Vishuddha Chaitanya, Shuddha Chaitanya, it is also anadi. Jiva Ishvara Bheda, the difference between Jiva and Ishvara, it is also anadi. Avidya means Prakriti. Prakriti is also anadi. And the relation between Chaitanya and Avidya, the relation between Chaitanya and Prakriti is also anadi. Therefore, technically, they have calculated 6 anadis in Vedanta Shastra. We don't have to get into the technicality of 6 anadis. Now let us take only 2 anadis. For us 2 anadis will suffice. One is Atma, another is Prakriti. 2 anadis. Among the 2 anadis, one can have Antya. The Prakriti can come to an end. It is anadi, but it is not ananta. It has it has no adi, but it can have anta. Whereas the Atma is Anadi and Ananta. Atma has no beginning, no end also. This is the difference between Atma and Prakriti. Prakriti is Anadi, but it is subject to an end. Whereas the Atma is Anadi and Ananta. So Prakriti is called Aja. So now the Upanishad is describing the Prakriti. When the Upanishad describes the Prakriti, if you don't know this, all these about Vedanta, if you just read this mantra, it looks as though this mantra is talking about a goat, a she-goat, because in Sanskrit even goat is called Aja. Aja Mekam. Now let me describe this mantra from the standpoint of goat story. Aja Mekam. There was one goat, she-goat Aja. Lohita Shukla Krishnam. And it had three colored goat, red, white and black. So the goat had three colors, red, white and black. A goat with three colors, patches. Bahvih prajasrajamanam sarupaha. And this she-goat gave birth to many kids, many babies. And all the babies have the same color as the goat, red, white and black. Now there are two goats who are fascinated by this she-goat, who are attracted to this she-goat. So one goat is always with this she-goat, another male goat. One male goat is always sleeping with this she-goat, Anushete. She always lies down with this she-goat. And another goat who was with this goat, she understood that this is a deceiving goat. This she-goat is not good enough. This she-goat is giving me misery. Then finally the other goat gave up this goat, the she-goat. So one goat is living with the she-goat, whereas another goat has left the she-goat. One goat who thinks this she-goat is good, she will give me happiness. This goat is in a delusion. Therefore, this goat is with the she-goat, in the company of the she-goat. Whereas the other goat understood this she-goat is not going to give any happiness. She is going to give only misery. Then she left the she-goat. So if you look into the literal meaning, you will get this idea, this picture. But this picture also is useful in explaining Vedanta. one jiva, it is in a delusion that the world will give me happiness. The world will give me lasting happiness. This jiva is enchanted by the world, enchanted by the maya, enchanted by the avidya. That is why this jiva continues to be a samsari. As long as it is enchanted by avidya, it continues to be a samsari. But when the same jiva understands that the world is not going to give me any lasting happiness, then he or she makes effort to get moksha and finally gets rid of the avidya, becomes free from the clutches of avidya. See, ajameka, there is one aja, one she-goat, not she-goat, what is it? Prakriti. Ekam ajam. So there is Prakriti. Prakriti is called aja because Prakriti has no beginning. Prakriti is anadi. Lohita shukla krishnam. Lohita, shukla and krishna. This is the composite of the Prakriti. Lohita literally means red. Red stands for Rajoguna. Shukla literally means white. Here it stands for Sattva-guna. And Krishna literally means black. Here it stands for Tamoguna. So there are three colors: Lohita, Shukla and Krishna. The colors signify three gunas. This is one interpretation. But there is another interpretation also, which is more in accordance with the tradition. Lohita stands for Agni. Lohita stands for Agni. Shukla stands for water, Jala. And Krishna stands for Prithvi. So Agni, Jala and Prithvi. The Prakriti has these three tattvas in the potential form. That is why the Prakriti is described as Lohita, Shukla, Krishna. This is another interpretation. So one interpretation is Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Another interpretation is Agni, Jala and Prithvi. Now this Prakriti is twofold. One is Maya. As Maya, the Prakriti becomes responsible for Srishti. The Prakriti gives rise to various objects in the creation. Bahvih prajaha, many prajas. Means many objects in the creation. The objects include our own body, our own sthula sharira, our own sukshma sharira. Everything is included. Bahvih prajasrajamanam. She creates many objects. Everything comes from Prakriti. Since everything comes from Prakriti, everything in the universe has the same three components as the Prakriti: Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Therefore, the Upanishad says, Sarupaha. Entire creation has the same nature as the Prakriti. Meaning, Prakriti is Trigunatmaka. In the same manner, even the Srishti is Trigunatmika. Entire Srishti has three gunas: Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Therefore, everything in the world is either Sattvika, Rajasa or Tamasa. Ajo shyeko jushamano nushete. Now, another aspect of the Prakriti, that is avidya. Ekaha ajaha, one aja, one atma, one jivatma. Jushamanaha anushete. Jushamanaha means he is enjoying the Prakriti. Means he is associated with the avidya, deluded by the avidya. Since he is deluded by the avidya, he has the misconception that the world can give me happiness. I can find permanent happiness in the world. So Jushamanaha, he is enjoying the world. In Vedantic terminology, enjoying does not mean only pleasure. Enjoyment includes pleasure as well as pain. Sometimes there is pleasure, most often there is pain. Physically as well as mentally. Adhi and Vyadhi. Vyadhi is the physical suffering. Adhi is the mental suffering. So there is physical suffering as well as mental suffering. So this jiva is chasing the pleasure in the world. As long as he is seeking pleasure in the world, he cannot be free from samsara. But at some point of time, because of some grace, because of a special grace from Ishvara, this jiva understands this world is not going to give me lasting happiness. Pariksha lokan karmachitan brahmano nirvedamayat nastya kritah kritena. He understands the nature of the universe. He understands that any amount of pursuit in the world is not going to give me permanent happiness. Because any object in the world itself is not permanent. When the objects in the world themselves are not permanent, how can they give me permanent happiness? Then he pursues moksha. Eventually, he becomes free from avidya, free from ignorance. That is how he is free from the prakriti. Jahatyenam bhukta bhogamajonyah anyah ajaha. Another jiva, a mukta jiva, not a samsari jiva, a mukta jiva, one who has attained moksha. Bhukta bhogam, after experiencing what the prakriti can promise, he has already gone through the experience of the prakriti. Many people do not learn even after experience. So much of pain. Despite that, many people do not get vairagya. It is not that some painful experiences give vairagya. It is not true. If somebody has painful experience, he will get vairagya. People think so, but it is not true. Despite having many painful experience, majority of the people do not get even an iota of vairagya. Because they think, someday I will get pleasure. It requires special grace, Ishvara's grace, to get viveka. This world is impermanent. This world cannot give permanent happiness. To understand this, one should have grace. If somebody has grace, even without undergoing much painful experiences, he will get vairagya. Therefore, bhukta bhoga jahati, he gives up the prakriti, means he becomes free. Mantra 6. Dvasuparna sayuja sakhaya Samanam vraksham parishasvajate tayoranyaha pippalam swadvatti anashnannanyo abhichakashiti. The process of a jiva attaining moksha is being explained in the following verses. In order to explain the process of moksha, the Upanishad begins with the presence of two types of Atmas, twofold Atmas. One is Jivatma, another is Paramatma. One is Jivatma, another is Paramatma. How many Atmas are there? So, it does not mean there are really two Atmas. Essentially, there is only one Atma, but on account of avidya, on account of ignorance, there seem to be two Atmas, Jivatma and Paramatma. In this description, the Upanishad compares this body to a tree. The body is compared to a tree. Sharira is described as a vriksha. And the two Atmas are pictured as two birds. Suparna. Suparna means bird. Jivatma and Paramatma are described as two birds sitting in this body, which is compared to a tree. Dvasuparna sayuja sakhayaha. Dvasuparna. Dvasuparna is a chandasa prayoga. The Vedas have a special license to use their own grammar. We cannot use Vedic grammar. We have other rules. Therefore, in our Sanskrit, in the Laukika Samskrita, it should be Dvau Suparnau. Dva Suparna will become Dvau Suparnau. Sayujau Sakhayau. The Au has become A according to the Vedic license. Dva Suparna, two birds. The two birds are Jivatma and Paramatma. They are described Sayujau, they are always present together. Jivatma and Paramatma are always together. Because Jivatma cannot exist without Paramatma. It is like Bimba cannot exist without Pratibimba. The reflection, Pratibimba cannot exist without Bimba. The reflection cannot exist without the original. Because essentially reflection is not different from the original. If they are essentially different, then they could have remained separate. But since they are not essentially different, they cannot exist exclusive of each other. The Pratibimba cannot exist without Bimba. In the same manner, there is a Jivatma here in this body, and we are experiencing the Jivatma. I. What are we identifying with? We are identifying ourselves as the Jivatma. We are the Jivatmas. And the Jivatma is not alone. The Jivatma is not independent of Paramatma. There is Paramatma also. In the same place. In the same body, there is Paramatma. So, Sayujau and Sakhayau, both have the same nature. Means both are Chaitanya Swarupa. Both are consciousness in nature. Sakhayau. Samanam Vriksham Parishaswajate. Both are present in the same tree. Samanam Vriksham. The body is compared to a tree, a vriksha. Parishaswajate. They are sitting in the same tree. Then what is the difference between the two? The Upanishad explains the difference between them. Tayoranyaha pippalam swadvatti. Tayoho, among the two, Jivatma and Paramatma. Anyaha, one of them. Pippalam swadu atti. We can understand that the tree that is being described here is a Pippala Vriksha, a ficus tree, people tree. So, there is Pippala, fruit, Phala. Pippala is phala, fruit. Swadu, it is sweet, tasty. So one is eating tasty fruit. At least he is seeking for tasty fruit. We want to eat a tasty fruit, but most often the fruits are not so tasty. Sometimes it is rotten, sometimes it is bitter, sometimes it is sour. We get all tastes. So the Jivatma is enjoying the phala of its karma. He is a bhokta. Jivatma is a bhokta. He is enjoying the phala of his karma. So Pippalam Swadvati implies bhoktrutva. And bhoktrutva includes kartrutva also. Because without kartrutva, without doership, there cannot be enjoyership. Doership and enjoyership go together. So there is kartrutva and bhoktrutva. Doership and enjoyership. As long as there is doership and enjoyership, there is samsara. Whereas the Paramatma is free from doership and enjoyership. The following line describes Paramatma. Anashnannanyo bhichakashiti anyaha. The other Atma, which is the Paramatma, it is free from samsara. It transcends samsara. That is why it is called Paramatma. Parama means one who is supreme, one who transcends, is called Parama. The Paramatma, Anashnan, he is not eating the fruit. Means free from bhoktrutva and free from kartrutva also. Abhichakashiti means just cease. Cease without doing anything, without enjoying anything. Meaning it is Chaitanya Swarupa, Nitya Chaitanya Swarupa, remains just as the Sakshi, without being the Karta and Bhokta, without being involved in samsara. It is Paramatma. So there is Jivatma and there is Paramatma. Now, the Jivatma is alienated from the Paramatma. Though essentially the Jivatma is nothing other than Paramatma. On account of ajnana, on account of ignorance, the Jivatma is alienated from the Paramatma. The Jivatma is not even aware of the presence of Paramatma right here. Most often the Jivatma even negates the presence of Paramatma right here. There is no Paramatma. There is no Ishvara. Many people will say this. The plight of a Jivatma will be explained in the next mantra further. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.